Well, what's going on this evening, y'all? Hey, Hattie. Hey, Kay. I see y'all are on time tonight. Y'all always on time, though. Hey, 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 hey. How's everybody doing? How is everybody doing? How was your day today? I hope your day was well. My day was good. I can't complain. I can't complain. I can't. My day was good. I went to dialysis. I came home. I had a little pot pie. Well, I had two, but one wasn't cooked all the way, so I just threw it out. I had a little pot pie, and now I'm hungry. I had some little Cheez-Its, and I'm hungry. So I know when I get off this live, I'm going to eat something. Because I'm hungry. Yes, a brother is hungry. Shout out to the Bush Babies. Because I see there's some of you in the bushes. And don't worry, I'm not here by myself. My husband is getting himself together.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Dirk. Welcome back. Welcome back. I get happy when I see folks returning. Because that means we doing a good job and y'all like what we do. Oh, y'all. But yeah, like I said, my day was good. I can't complain. Dialysis went well. I was asleep the whole time I was there, except for like I woke up the last 9 minutes for me to be on the machine. And when she saw I was awake, she said 9 minutes. I know I should have. You would have been more happy if I said two, right? I said nine ain't bad. Nine ain't bad. Now if you told me an hour, I would have been angry. I said, but nine ain't bad. Hey Carrie. Hey Margie. 9 minutes wasn't bad. And then when I looked, hey Trisha. When I looked across the room, I saw Tramel getting taken off. I was like, wait a minute, this ain't making sense. Why he getting off and I still got 9 minutes?
Right. You got home way before me.
No, but I know why. Because they added that 15 minutes because they was using the wrong thing. And she won't take it off. Talking about she gonna wait till next week. Miss Thing, I did that when I was in Jersey already. Uh, hey Monica. Oh, you gotta go to dialysis, Dirk, on tomorrow morning. I'm so glad they switched me back because when I first moved here, they I was always used to Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
I'm never going on Saturday.
So when they switched me when I moved here to Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, oh my God, it was like it was so hard for me to adjust because those were all my off days. So my body was used to not having dialysis. So it just was like, ugh, and it was hard for me to adjust. I had to do that for like maybe a couple of weeks. And then I wasn't showing up when I was supposed to show up because I didn't want to go on those days. And then they was like, well, what was your regular days? I said my days since 2016 have always been Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Thank God they had a spot open and put me there.
And then they put me there.
And then thank God they was able to put Tramel on the same day. Hey Melissa.
Yes, I was so glad too.
Cause I was just like, if we have to go, if I go Monday, he go Tuesday. The only downtime we would have had together would have been Sunday. So I'm glad now because, like, we have our same dialysis feeling the same day. So Monday he's down, I'm down. Wednesday he's down, I'm down. Friday we both down.
And usually it really ain't that bad because all I do is
right,
come home and take a nap.
it ain't. When I say down, I mean, you know, dialysis wears you out. So at least we worn out together, as opposed to me being worn out on Monday, but him being fine, and then him being worn out on Tuesday and me being fine. I'm so glad. Yeah, I could not adjust to Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. I just couldn't, because I was always, since 2016, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And when they told me they could switch me back, I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. Hey, Willie Ann. I was like, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. You okay?
This GERD is really like, oh.
I know. You've been going through it last couple of days.
It's really been like, oh.
Y'all pray for my baby. He been going through it these last couple of days. He been feeling okay, but his GERD, I don't know if you guys know what GERD is, but his GERD has been acting up really bad these last couple of days. Hey, Taisha. Well, I have to go in the isolation room, and they said they can only fit me in on those days. Oh, why you gotta go in isolation? You got COVID or RSV? Because I know they put me in isolation when I had COVID. They put me in isolation when I had COVID. Well, it really technically wasn't isolation. It was all of us that had COVID was in the back together, and we all had to come in at like 2 to 3 o'clock. So and we stayed till close because the dialysis center I went to in Jersey, they had a third shift. So, well, Trisha, if you got GERD, you know exactly what he going through. Oh, okay, Dirk. Um, they had a third shift, so they was making me come in on the third shift when I had COVID, and then they just lined all of us up in the back. And then I was getting angry because the COVID at home test, which was what told me I had COVID, said I was good in, you know, the amount of time in like the 14 days. They kept giving me COVID test after COVID test after COVID test after COVID test after COVID test. And their test kept coming back that I had COVID. I'm like, okay. I did another one at home and it told me I was fine. Every time y'all do a COVID test on me, it's telling y'all I got COVID. Like something ain't right. Something ain't adding up. When it said I had COVID, I did. Now that it's saying I don't have COVID, y'all want to believe that. But y'all will believe the readings that it said that I had it, but y'all don't want to believe the readings that say I don't have it, and y'all keep testing me, and they keep coming back saying that I got it. I'm like, oh, child, I can't. But finally, they got it together because they wanted me to. They was like, well, if you go to urgent, I'm not going to urgent care and sit there for them to give me a COVID test. I'm not. Y'all keep doing it until, you know, it comes up negative. And finally, I think after 6 tries, it came up negative. No, Carrie, he didn't buy himself a jacket today, but he didn't really need it because it was like 65 degrees here. So he didn't really need a winter coat, but we are going to get him one probably Tuesday.
Yeah, because
Probably
we don't have the
Tuesday.
money right now. Anyway.
No, Trisha, no, he's not. It's just the cough. Like when he's, or like when he try to eat, he'll start coughing real bad, or like if he drinks something, he'll start coughing real bad, and that's, you know, the bad part.
Yes, it's nerve wracking.
No, because Trisha got it too. She asked me, "Was you throwing up?"
Oh, okay, yeah.
No, but sometimes he does cough till he throws up, and it just it's horrible. I be feeling so bad for him. I'll be
Yeah,
feeling
I
so
can't
bad
stand the
for him.
cough. I can't stand the cough. I'm so tired of coughing.
Yeah. So yes, yes, yes. So what did y'all do today? How was your day? I know, Dirk, you said your late night ended, I think Wednesday night was your last night having to walk the community.
Having to do what?
He where he lives,
Mm-hmm.
his complex or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
they had people that lived there walk in the complexes and through the breezeways just to
Mm-hmm.
make sure no pipes was bursting because it was so cold.
Oh,
And I was like, "Ooh, you brave for that one," because my
yeah.
black ass would have been in the house
Yeah, me
where it
too.
was warm.
But I mean, that's a good thing.
Oh no, definitely is a good thing.
Yeah. Somebody got to care about what's going on in the complex.
Why wasn't yours good? You slept all day, Carrie? I've had those days where I slept all day. Got up, got something to eat, and went back to bed. Oh, they got you until Monday night. Oh, okay. Because I thought, okay, well, at least it's not as cold as it was. Well, at least here, well, yeah, you live in Atlanta too, so it's not as cold as it was. So that's not bad. It's not as bad. Well, at night it's cold, but it still ain't as cold as it was.
Yeah.
Oh my God. How did your bedroom catch on fire?
What?
That's too much. That's too much, child. Well, my mattress did like burnt, burnt. So unfortunately, I don't have a bed to sleep in. But God is good because I'm here and able to tell my story. I
I
wish
know
there
that's
was a
right.
way I could send pictures. But how did the bed catch on fire?
My God. Did y'all hear about Barbara Walters?
Right, but my feet been freezing lately. I posted it in a dialysis group and have not gotten any responses. Just your feet or your whole body?
Maybe anemic.
Right.
I know they gave me something for my anemia today. You know, uh, and I know when you're anemic, you get
Oh,
cold really fast. Your feet and your hands get cold.
wait. Melissa said, hold on. Good, stayed in, washed hard, and slept, and sit, made my nail appointment. You know, but after you text me and I didn't respond this morning, you know I fell asleep, right? And I was talking about, oh, I'm surprised you up this early.
Oh, I want to get my nails done so bad.
Oh, yeah, Barbara Walters passed away today, y'all.
Yeah, at 96.
And it's true because all the uh, news stations and everything is reporting it. Because the first time I saw it, it was just one person on Facebook that said "Rest in peace, Barbara Walters." I said, "Here we go with the lie." And then, like right after he posted it, all these news feeds on my phone started pulling it up. Like Mr. Joseph, when I tell you I was scared, didn't know what to do. One was One was say to call the fire department, right? But when you are scared and panicking, you can't think. Like beg, I have to, I have to beg
What was the
nobody.
cause of the fire? What
She
happened?
said extension cord.
Oh, electrical cord. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay. Yeah, you gotta be careful with that. You gotta be careful with that, y'all. And those surge protectors. Make sure you have a good surge
Oh, don't
protector.
tell me that, child, because I have one plugged behind my bed.
You gotta make sure that
Well,
you
actually, a surge
you get
protector.
those surge protectors. You have to replace them
Well, no, it's extension cord.
at
Is the
least
difference.
2 years. At least after 2 years, you have to replace those surge protectors. And the extension cords, oh boy, those are always an issue.
And she said she guessed because the extension cord was plugged behind her bed.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, boo. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Did she have homeowners insurance?
Renter's insurance
Mm-hmm.
or homeowners, either one of the two should cover it.
Yeah. Your renter's insurance should cover it.
Those $300 cords are not good. Right. I would never, cause yeah, them dollar store extension cords, no.
You got to get something sturdy.
Some things you just got to pay full price for. Some things you just got to pay full price for. Yep. So Miss Barbara Walters, Miss 2020, Miss Creator of the View, and the Talk. She created the Talk as well, I
No,
believe. I know she created the View, and I
she
know
was
she used to
created.
be on 2020, and she was on something else.
She was the creator of the view, not the talk.
Hey, Leon. But she lived a full life. I mean, 93 is a full life. I
Hey,
mean, it's better than 13 or 23 or 33 or 43 or 53.
we can all only pray to live to be 93.
Right. And well, the Bible say anything after 70 is a blessing. Because God granted you 70 years at tops. Anything after 70 is a blessing. So she lived a full life. Have y'all started your cleaning for New Year's yet? Or y'all don't buy into that?
Yes, you got to get your house clean. You got to make sure your house is clean. You got to make sure that you have your necessaries like your black eyed peas
Your green
for good luck. And then you got your greens for money.
and pork.
And then your pork. I never I see the pork thing.
The
Um,
pork was because pigs are fat and they stay eating and they just a lot of places revere pigs as like in Hawaii
hmm
when they want to feast they have a pig.
hmm
They bury a
Well,
big
see,
pig.
that was never a part of the New Year's tradition for me. It was just the black eyed peas and the greens. Um, yeah, that was really it.
Oh, okay, you're gonna take your Christmas decorations down on Sunday. You know what? The way Tramel decorated the living room, I low key kind of want to leave the lights up, but like the other stuff can come down. But I low key want to keep the lights up. Cause I just like the way it looked. Hey Monte,
Hey, Monte.
I low key like the lights. Everything else can come down, like the thing he has over the trellis of the terrace that can come down. The bowls can come down. The stockings can come down. But I low key want to leave the lights up. But I don't know. I don't know. Mine not getting Be clean. Ain't nothing going to be cooking after 12 hours and dialysis and work. Yeah, I get it because you got to go to dialysis and work
I
tomorrow
gotta
night.
get some cornbread mixed too, cause I want to have me some cornbread with my black eyed peas.
Yep. So that's what it's going to be. That is what it's going to be. We don't really have much cleaning to do, of course, because we just moved in here, but these floors need to be cleaned bad. And I'm glad we got two Swifters because he can Swift one. We
Ooh.
can Swift back and forth.
Trish said she cooked her some oxtail stew, Jamaican style. Ooh, yes, girl. The greens, yes, the peas will get cooked on some. Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Now,
I love to have me some oxtail. We don't have no money.
I have, oof, child, my ear.
If I had some money to
That
get some
hurts.
oxtails, I'd get them. I sure would.
Oof. Um, Now, let me ask y'all a question. Y'all can answer in the chat. Have you ever heard of not only should you cook the black eyed peas, but you should put a penny in the peas while they cooking?
Yeah, I've heard that before.
And then when you finish the peas, when you get to the penny, you're supposed to go outside and bury it by a tree.
Now I ain't heard of that. I heard you put a penny in it gives them good luck.
Right. You get the good luck, and then you take it outside and bury the penny
Mm.
by a tree. That's what somebody from the South told me. I was like, I am not putting no dirty ass penny in my damn
I mean, well, you
peas.
clean it first.
Well, I know, but still. Yeah. If you supposed to put a penny in them for good luck. You're supposed to put a penny in them for good luck. See, Hattie heard it. Carrie said she never heard it before. Kay said she haven't heard it. Dirk said he never heard of that. I heard of that maybe 2, 3 years ago. You know, say he
Oh,
never heard that.
really? Trisha said she heard of putting a penny in every corner of your house. I've never heard of that before.
I
Yes,
never heard
ma'am.
of that. You put the penny in the backyard in the black eyed peas, and you take black eyed peas and put them in your wallet, your purse, and it brings your good luck. Okay. Well, I hope not cooked, child. I hope you put them in your
Right.
purse and your
Dry.
wallet dry and raw, cause ooh, that would be a mess. There ain't no luck with that if they cooked or came out of a can.
Right.
Oh, this weather, y'all. I wish it would just get one way and stay one way, but this weather is upsetting me severely.
Yeah, it's too much.
It's too much, and it's making like my stroke side, the side that got affected by the stroke. Oh, it's just making it bother me a lot. Like my
And it's turning my
arm,
neuropathy out.
my hand, my feet, my leg. I'm like, oh, or keep money in your wallet. Go right, Monte. I always heard that too. Even if it's $1, just keep money in your wallet. But I ain't got no money to put in my wallet. So my wallet gonna be bare, honey. Come midnight, my wallet gonna be bare. But we did get invited tomorrow to a celebration of life um, ceremony. I have to say it that way because the person didn't want a funeral. So it's a celebration of life ceremony. We'll probably go by there for a little while and then either come back home before midnight or by midnight and celebrate with each other. Not no cooked black eyed peas. I was told that all my life by my by my by my by the older ladies in my life. Yep, because that's where all of that comes from, the older generation. the older generation.
And what they do at our church is they tell you to bring all whatever bills you have,
Or write
whatever
it down.
yeah, or whatever debts or whatever you have, bring them to church, and they burn them.
Yeah, or tell you, whatever you want to leave in 2022, write it down on a piece of paper and then
Mm-hmm.
go outside with this big
Right.
metal bucket and you're supposed to throw the paper in the bucket and the pastor burns
Yeah.
all the paper so that you can leave everything you wrote down in
Right. And
2022.
it could be anything. Like if you want to leave, a bad relationship, or you want to leave a bad habit, or whatever, anything, and whatever you want to leave in 2022, you just write it down.
Did I tell you I did that last year?
Hmm.
I did it last year
You
because
did?
remember we didn't go to church. I did it
Mm-mm.
last year and I threw it in the sink. I burnt the paper and threw it in. I took a
Oh,
lighter
I
and burnt
remember.
the
I remember
paper
you. I remember you when you did it. I remember.
and I burnt it in the sink because I was just like, Trisha said, that sound like voodoo to me. Hey, if it works, it works. I ain't claiming voodoo, but if it works, it works.
Trisha said her grandma used to do that.
We have done that at church before, right, Carrie? Some churches do that. Some churches, because New Year's Day is on Sunday, they not even having their watch night. A lot of churches are not having their watch night like they used to because New
Mm-hmm.
Year's Day is on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they figure if you stay in church till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, you ain't gonna want to come back on Sunday.
Right.
So, I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense because I'm child. I know people that go to white night services that don't get home till 2 and 3 in the morning. I'm like, child, what was y'all doing in church?
Child, let me tell you something. The watch night at the church I used to go to, praise God, New Christian Tabernacle Church of God in Christ. Oh, it used to be lit because what they would do is they would invite choirs from all over the city of Patterson
Hmm.
to come and sing. And what I'm doing, I tell you, it was a treat to hear all those choirs that would come, and the anointing would be in the room, and they would have these solo. Oh God, Mieta. Oh, they have people that's these solo artists, you know, you know, known solo artists, from the community come sing. It was just beautiful, and I remember it so well because my mom, she used to sell chicken dinners and fish dinners downstairs in the basement.
Hmm.
And it would just be such a great fellowship. That's what I miss. Those are the days that I miss. I miss those days when I would go to church and it would be such a great fellowship. Um, and I've told you about my old church, Joseph. They were the people that I went to church with. I never heard them like talk about each other and judge each other and stuff like that. You know, it was always a positive thing.
All right.
And I miss that so much about church. The black church, church attendance has gone down quite a bit
All right.
because of COVID, of course, and because people have awakened themselves to the possibility of being open minded about life. You
And just
know,
not buying into what the pastor telling them
yeah.
and finding out
and
who
we're and
God
we're
is for
really and
themselves.
we're finally recognizing, we're finally doing what we're like. I've said this so many times. People go to church and you think they're worshiping God, and when in reality they're not worshiping God, they're worshiping the pastor. The pastor is being treated like a king. you know, when they serve dinner, the pastor has to eat first, or he has to have this grand car. He has to have these beautiful clothes. He has to look good. His family has to look good, and we, the parishioners, are responsible for that. And those days are slowly drying up. You know, you see that pastor that just got arrested.
Right. And the other pastor they put on blast because he said, I've been asking y'all for a Movado watch for 2 years and ain't got it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, buy your own Movado.
Right.
You want a Movado watch? Buy your own Movado.
Uh-huh. So I'm glad that it's good to see that the black church is changing structure. And unfortunately, attendance is low, but maybe it needs to be that way for a while.
Right. Churches practice religion, not spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them do. There are some that practice spirituality. There's very few, but there are some. Now, I was watching a live today. Actually, I was watching Lips live today. Well, he wasn't live. He was not his live, his mukbang. And he was doing something. He was reminiscing because, on Sunday he turns 45. And he was reminiscing about back in the day. And a lot of things he was talking about, I was like, oh my God, I remember that. Oh my God, I remember that. And it just put me like in this nostalgic mode when he just put me in this nostalgic mode when he was talking about certain things. A lot of things were different because he grew up in the South, and for us in the North, we didn't have to do that. Tramel hasn't watched the live yet, so he don't even know most of the stuff Lips was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But when he said a rotary phone, I was like, "Oh, I remember rotary phone."
Ooh, don't you?
And he was like, "Remember when you didn't have to dial an area code, and if everybody had like a 333 number, you could just dial the last four numbers." They never did that in New York. We had to dial a whole number. We didn't have to do the area code because if you lived in Brooklyn, we all had 718 numbers. So we would have to
Right.
dial, 718, 716, 7644. That was my old number. Sorry if whoever got it now, if somebody on here decides to call that number. Um, but that was my old number. Remember you would remember phone numbers?
Oh yeah.
Now I couldn't even tell y'all what Tramel's number was without looking
Right.
it up. I
I I,
couldn't even
I
tell
could
y'all.
remember. I remember my mom's number. I remember all my family's phone numbers. People that were important in my life. I remember their
You
phone
you
numbers.
either had to remember them by heart or write them down.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you wrote them down at first, and then you memorized it. So because you had no choice but to dial a number and call him, and it was no such a thing as leave a message. You had to leave a message if somebody picked up.
Right.
Because answering machines, oh God, when did they come out? I remember answering machines came out maybe in the mid to late 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Mid to late 80s. Um, and then after that, beepers came out. Cell phones were so big and huge. First, it was a car phone, and you thought you was dipping and doing it if you had a car phone.
Yes, you did. Mm-hmm.
Like anybody get in your car, see you had a car
I
phone.
had a
Oh,
car
honey, you
phone.
was dipping and doing it. And cell phones was so big, you had to literally carry them in a bag when they first
Yeah.
came out. You literally had to carry
Cell
them in a
phones
bag.
became popular overnight. It was like bam. It was like that's it. It just
Well, when they
became a
started making them smaller, and because at first, remember, they was real big and not a lot of people had them.
yeah.
And then they started making them smaller, and then they started making them more affordable because they was outrageously
Yeah.
priced in the beginning. They started making them smaller, outrageously priced. Then you had to buy minutes, and it's nothing like it was now. You had to buy a certain amount of
Yeah.
minutes, and
Mm-hmm.
you had daytime minutes, nighttime minutes.
Uh-huh.
Then it was free nighttime minutes after 9 o'clock. But
Yeah.
who really gonna call you after 9 o'clock?
You had unlimited minutes after nine
Right.
o'clock.
After it was unlimited minutes after 9 o'clock, but
Mm-hmm.
anything before nine
And
o'clock.
then remember, the color screen came out
But
for
it
the
was
cell phone. Sprint started with
right.
that, and then it went from color screens to,
Small. They started getting smaller and smaller and
yeah,
smaller.
yeah, smaller, smaller, smaller. Remember the Razor
Yeah.
phone? I had a couple of those. And then remember, The first touch screen with the touch screen phone
that
was
that T-Mobile had.
the BlackBerry
Hey Medina, the BlackBerry was the first one that had a keyboard.
BlackBerry Storm.
It was
That's
the
what it
first one
was.
that had the keyboard. But
Right.
that other one that T-Mobile had that everybody had that slid up and you could just text with your
Right.
thumbs,
Right.
that was real popular.
Yeah, but the BlackBerry Storm was really the official touch screen phone.
Right. The touchscreen.
Yeah. Uh,
Hey
and
Medina.
then things evolved from there. I remember. Oh wow.
And then it just took off. It just took off. Hey Grateful Heart. It just took off from there. It just took off from
Thank you,
there.
Grateful Heart. Thank you so much. You be safe as well.
And what else? He was talking about oh god, the antenna thing. We didn't have that problem in New York City because our antennas was already on the roof. So and we lived in big buildings, so we didn't have to go outside and move the antennas around on on the top of the house. So we never had that problem because when I was listening to him talk, I was like, child, I would have never did that. I would have never climbed up on the roof, moving the antenna, waiting for somebody to yell at me. Okay, the picture's here. The picture's there. We didn't have
Are
to.
you talking about television?
Uh huh.
Well, yeah, there came a time where people they said everybody was going to be required to have um, either some type of cable or you would have to have some type of box in your home that would allow your TV to work because antennas were going to become obsolete.
You way ahead of
So,
me.
huh?
You way ahead of me.
Am I?
I'm talking about in the 1960s and 70s when
Oh,
there
you
was
talking
a
about the
real
60s and 70s?
antenna.
Oh, okay.
A real antenna was outside your house. And
Hmm.
he was talking about how they had to climb up on the roof and move the antenna to get the picture clear.
Oh, yeah. There used to be a time you had to do that. Hmm.
And he was talking about getting water out the well. We didn't have to do that in New York either because there was no wells to get water out of.
We did.
Um, and then he was talking about bathing in a basin. We didn't have to do that because we had running
I
water in
did.
the house in the tub.
I did. Hmm.
So it was like a lot of similarities, but then a lot of differences, which made me happy. I grew up in the North because I'm like, oh, child, I wasn't going to do all of that.
Oh, Joseph, I grew up very simple. Very, very simple. My grandmother used to make our own. She used to make our soap. And so and yes, I bathed in the basin before. I told you, before I moved to New Jersey, I had never seen a gas stove before. I was like, well, what is that? Because my grandmother had a wood burning stove, and that wood burning stove, it heated the house, and it would stay lit all day, all night,
When I
24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it made like my grandmother used to make the most amazing buttermilk biscuits in that stove.
my I saw stuff like that when I went to Valerie's grandmother's house. I went with her to
Hmm.
Virginia one time, and her grandmother had stuff like that.
We had a well on the side of
I
our
didn't.
house.
My grandmother was up north, so I never saw none of that. She did because she grew up in the South, but I
Hmm.
didn't see none of that because I always grew up in the North with in an apartment building that had all those things readily available in it. But
Right. But we had a well on the side of our house. You know, and growing up, and that's why you when I cook, Joseph's like Tramel. When you cook, you always make sure that your vegetables are nice and crisp, or
yes, Hattie.
they're cooked just right to perfection. And that's because I grew up. Growing up, we grew our own vegetables.
See, we couldn't do that in New York.
We grew our own vegetables. Like we grew our own bell peppers and collard greens and carrots and peas and we grew all of that stuff.
And Dirk, yes, I remember using the metal clothes hangers for antennas on the TV.
Oh yes, baby. Yes, baby. Hmm.
And remember how when you wanted to change the channel, you literally had to get up and change the channel. There was no such thing as a remote. You literally had to turn the knob to go to channel, and it was only channel 2, 4, 5. 7,
9, and 11.
9, 11, and 13.
Yeah.
That was it. That was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
Unless you had cable.
When cable came out, but remember when cable first came out, it was just WHT and HBO.
Right.
It was just WHT and HBO. And then more Showtime came, and then it became this whole array of you could add all these channels on this one box.
Well, it varied depending on what neighborhood you live in, because I remember
some neighborhoods could get HBO and some neighborhoods could get WHT.
Right. Well, my community, they just came and they just ran the lines for everything, for everyone. So that was the difference. Yeah, those were the good old days.
Those were the good old days. Remember beepers?
Oh yes, I remember. I had a beeper.
And when you became a pro, you could send messages like "I love you" or "hello."
Well, I had a Sky Pager
or 911.
I never had.
I wanted a Sky Pager, but I always had a regular beeper.
Yeah, I never had like a regular beeper. I always had a Sky Pager.
And then when they started making the neon colors, oh, child, I had a pink one, a blue one, a green one, a red one. I was loving it because it was see-through. It was neon, but it was see-through. It was neon, but it was see-through. We only
you
had
was the shit if you had a beeper though.
Child, if you had a beeper, child, you was the shit. But see, a lot of times if you had a beeper and you was the black man, the po-po would pull you over because they felt you was doing the wrong thing. But child, we had our beepers because it was the beeper first and then the cell phones hit like wildfire. It was the beepers first and then the cell phones hit like wildfire. I guess they figured, well, if they can send a message for somebody to call them and you go to the payphone, let's make a phone that they can put in their pocket and do the same thing.
And yes, Carrie, I remember when satellite first came out, and the big issue in New Jersey, where I was living at, where I was living at, was you had to get permission from your landlord to get the satellite put on top of the house or in the yard. If the landlord said no, you couldn't get satellite TV.
Trisha, I know exactly what that was because I used to send it to people all the time, child. Let some boy not call me back, honey. I put 304 all the time, honey. 304.
We're feeling good, Grateful Heart.
We are feeling good. Yes, I put 304 all the time. You know what 304 said, right? Ho.
I never.
Yeah, I just ho.
Let's see. I never had to do like codes and stuff like that.
Well, because the four, of course, didn't type like it did in the chat.
Right.
It typed like a H, like an upside down H.
See, I never had to do all that because I had a Sky page. I was able to send a person a message, and I could type whatever I wanted.
Right. It was and then remember, Nextel was the next big thing. Nextel was the next biggest cell phone.
I remember I had Nextel
because everybody wanted to beep
the
you.
walkie-talkie.
Because of the walkie-talkie on it.
Then they went out of business, and Boost Mobile bought them
and kept it for a minute.
Yeah,
because I had a cute one. I didn't have that big black one like everybody had with that flip top. I had a cute little burgundy one, and it was cute.
Well, Boost Mobile used to have the walkie-talkie feature.
Right.
They stopped the walkie-talkie feature back in 2012.
Melissa, remember when? I know you remember this. Yeah, you remember this because we the same age. I know you remember this. Let's say, y'all, I was trying to call Tramel, right? Because there was also a such thing as no call waiting. So if somebody called you, they just got a busy signal letting them know you was on the phone, letting you know they were on the phone. So let's say I was trying to call Tramel for the last hour and I'm getting a busy signal. Remember, you could call an operator and be like, can you go break through that call and tell them to hang up because I'm trying to call? And the operator was like, are you sure you want to? Yes, I'm sure. Break through that call and tell them to get off the phone because I'm trying to call.
I remember.
And the operator would come through and say, hello, this message is for Joseph. This message is for Tramel. Joseph is trying to call you. He said, can you please get off the
Yeah.
phone? And now that would be so embarrassing because, like, if your boyfriend was talking to another girl or whatever the case may be, they now want to know, well, who's this person that's making this operator assisted call? Yes, star 67 and star 69. Or was it star 68? I don't
Star
remember.
67 do?
Star 67 would, one of them gave you the number and the other one will call the number back. So, like, if somebody called you and hung up, you could just star, I want to say star 67. I know one called back immediately and didn't give you the number, and the other one gave you the number of who called you.
Okay.
And then remember when the caller IDs came where you had to buy that little box and it showed all the numbers, the number of the person that called you?
Right. I remember that.
Or like if you wanted to like if say I didn't want Tremel to call me, I just take the phone off the hook. And then he tried to get the operator to come through, and the operator like, sir, there's nobody on the line. What do you mean there's nobody? There's nobody on the line. They must have the phone off the hook. And then now you really in your feelings like, ooh, this bitch is mad at me. He took the phone off the hook. So, hey, Ashley. Oh, yeah, star 67 was to block your number from coming up on the caller ID. So if I didn't see a number or it would say unavailable or unknown, I wouldn't pick up the phone. And then you had to have a separate answer. So you had three things. You had an answer machine, you had a telephone, and you had a caller ID. You had three different things. And then when they start leaving a message on the answer machine, if you wanted to talk, all you had to do was pick up the phone and it would stop the answer machine. But yeah, those were the I love the technology we have now, but I miss those days. I do because they were
payphone.
Oh yeah, child, the payphone. I would be outside. Yeah, 1-800-collect. Remember the calling cards?
Mm-hmm.
You could buy a calling card and make long distance call because there was no such thing as, say, living in California and just calling New York. If you lived in California and called New York, you was getting charged like up to $1 a minute to talk to the person. So it was very, hey, how you doing? You good? Okay, me too. Talk to you later. Bye. It wasn't no sitting there having no hour or 3 hour long conversations like we do now.
Right.
Because it was long distance. Even if you lived in like, even I want to say,
if you lived the next town
even
over.
if you lived in like I lived in Brooklyn and Melissa lived in the Bronx, it would be long distance because Brooklyn is calling the Bronx. Right. So it wouldn't be as expensive as if I called California, but it would still be long distance.
Right.
Oh, I'm good. I'm fine. I'm feeling good. Hold on. Melissa said, how about them long messages we made for our phone voicemails? Yeah, child. Remember? Yes, Melissa. Your voicemail had to have the right song.
Yes, the right music.
You had to talk at the right time, and it had to end at the precise moment of the song.
Yes.
And if it didn't do it right, you had to do it all over again.
Sure did, yeah. You had to have your voicemail together. And remember, you used to have to. Who would you have to dial to check your messages when you was out?
Oh, I forgot. You did your phone number.
I think
you called yourself, and then you dial like the hashtag or the star.
Yeah, the star or the hashtag.
To listen to your voice messages while you wasn't home. I was about to say. Oh, remember y'all when before you could play music online, you had to sit and listen to the radio and be ready to hit the record button when your song came on so you could record it. And then get mad if the DJ started talking before the song went over because now you got to rewind a little bit.
Right.
To stop it. And then you be making tapes for your little boyfriend or girlfriend or
Mm-hmm.
person you like, and be like, I sat up all night. See, now I appreciate the fact that somebody did that for me, but back then it was like, oh, okay, I'll take it and listen to it.
Right.
But now, because now it's so easy to do,
Yeah, you
you
go on iTunes.
realize
You can actually go on iTunes and create a playlist for someone and send it to them.
right now it's like you realize how much that took for somebody to do, or even if they
Yeah.
had records, they would have to play the song,
Mm-hmm.
pause the recorder, change the record, and put on the next record they wanted to make for
Mm-hmm.
you, and it was fun. Let
Well,
me
some
tell
of the
you.
best mixtapes came from you doing it on the radio. Like I remember in New Jersey, Mr. Magic came on, or Africa Islam,
Like if you
or
did it at night, it was the best thing
yeah.
because you could do a whole Quiet Storm,
Mm-hmm.
and you could do a whole, the mixtapes, like you said, with the
Mm-hmm.
rap and R&B and stuff
Right.
like that. If you did it at night, when they did their little Friday night mixes, it was fun. We had fun back in those days. I always say that the kids nowadays, it's their version of fun, but it's not what our version of fun was. Our
Right.
version of fun is totally different. I used to record the song off the radio and tape so I could record it on my voicemail. Right, Tawny, you have to get like the precise piece you want
Right.
off the tape to record it onto the voicemail. And then if it didn't work right or it didn't do right, you had to start all over again from scratch. Sometimes it take
Uh-huh.
you 4, 5, 6 times to get just the way you wanted
Well,
it
the problem was waiting for your song, the song that you wanted,
to
to
come
come on
on.
the radio.
Because
That was
they
the
didn't they
problem.
didn't do what they do now and just play them back to back to back to back to back. You
Mm-hmm.
had to be like like a Patti LaBelle or Diana Ross or somebody that was
Mm-hmm.
like we consider legendary now in order for your songs to be played back to back like
Right.
that.
Right.
Nowadays they just play everybody back to back to back to back to back. Back in
And
the day,
I appreciate. You know what I appreciate? We grew up listening to a lot of Anita Baker and Uncle Charlie and we grew up listening to a lot of great R&B music. We grew up in a big R&B era. Like R&B today is absolutely nothing like it was
because our
back
parents
in the
listened
day.
to it.
But I mean, Monica and Brandy, they were popular and they did great R&B music. You had Donnell Jones, then you had Neo, you had Chris Brown. He did R&B. You know, we grew up in a great R&B era. I appreciate the fact that I grew up in a great R&B era, and I was a part of it because I was a musician, of course, working in the music industry. I was a part of it. I was a very, very big part of it because I was a musician. And I just appreciate growing up in a big R&B era. And then, of course, my dad, who was one of the members of Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, I met a lot of these legendary celebrities like Patti LaBelle. Patti LaBelle, she came to my house one time, you know, and Gerald Levert. My father was very good friends with his father, you know, and so he came over. Barry White, people like this, people in the industry that you hear about that have passed on and stuff like that. I had the privilege of knowing, like I knew the Temptations. I was my dad, because my dad was he worked in the music industry as well. I was able to meet a lot of these legendary celebrities like Diana Ross and the Supremes, and I met Florence Ballard one time, you know, as a kid, not realizing who she really was. I met Aretha Franklin and I met artists like Keith Sweat and you know
Child, I used to work with Keith Sweat. before he quit.
It's a, for me, looking back on it, it's a privilege now. It's a privilege and an honor. You know, Stevie Wonder was a good friend of my father's, and you know, I knew all his daughters, and knew all his daughters. They lived in New Jersey. They were very good friends of mine. They were like family to me, and they're still like family to me.
Actually,
Um,
Dirk, you're right.
you
There is
know,
no R&B music today.
well, there is R&B music today, but like I
It don't get
said,
no play.
the R&B music today is nothing like the R&B music of yesteryear. The R&B music today, R&B artists today are Rihanna and Chris Brown and Shaheen. Those are the R&B artists today, but they really don't get the recognition that they should get. People like Summer Walker and oh God, what's that other girl's name? Ari Lennox. You know, these people, these R&B artists don't get the recognition that R&B artists used to get back in the day. Like Whitney Houston was a big R&B artist back in the day, and she got the recognition. She always got good, you know, great recognition. You know, in the award season, and just in being president R&B. It's just not like that anymore. There's no what do you call it? They don't promote it like they used to. Their R&B is not promoted like it used to be. The only thing that's really promoted these days is rap music, which is terrible.
Hattie and
The rap
Melissa.
industry for me is just garbage. It's just terrible. I don't like the rap industry
Hattie and Melissa,
anymore.
y'all are right, but that only happened when you like the person.
What's that?
You hang up. No, you hang up first. No, you hang up first.
Oh yeah.
I'm not hanging up. You hang up.
Yeah.
Child, now I push that end button so quick,
Yeah.
it ain't even a thing to me.
I used to go, oh, I just want to hear your voice.
I be like, you hang up first. No, you hang up first. No, you hang up. No. And remember, you couldn't if you sat. Remember the party line, and if you met somebody you liked, you had to literally send them a picture of yourself through the mail because there was no such thing as just taking a picture and
Right.
sending it through the cell phone. You literally had to send yourself through the mail. You had to send your picture through the mail to them, and by the time they got it a week later, y'all was still talking on the phone. But by the time they got it a week later, you was like, "Oh, child, I was talking to you." Not all the time, but sometimes you'd be like, "Ooh, child, I was talking to you." Really? This what you look like? Okay, now how I'm gonna figure it out? How I'm gonna stop talking to you nicely and slowly without hurting your feelings? It wasn't always like that, but it was like that sometimes. Sometimes it was like that. But see, at least we played it safe. It wasn't like nowadays where I send you a picture, you send me a picture, and I'm at your house in 5, 10, 20 minutes. We had to talk and get to know each other. And those were the days that I missed before me and Tramel got married. I missed sitting, talking to somebody, getting to know them. You can't really figure out a person texting. Texting is good. And I'm one that if I text you, I don't need you to pick up the phone and call me. Just text me back. Because if I wanted to talk to you, I would have called you. I'm good for that. I have a friend that does that. They'll text me, "Hey, how you doing?" I respond back, "I'm good." And the next thing you know, my phone is ringing. Thank God I only text them when I'm in the middle of doing something because I'm like, if I wanted to talk to you, I would have called you. I text you. So that means I'm open to texting, but I'm not in the mood to have a conversation with you. Like, I don't understand. I'm good. I don't understand why people don't get that a lot of times. Like, or if you text me and say, "Bitch, what you doing?" Nothing. I'm gonna call you. Okay, cool. I'm cool with that. But just because you got one response in a text, you want to call me now? I don't want to talk to you. If I wanted to talk to you, I would have called you. I met my first boyfriend off the party line. We used to write letters and send pictures to write 20 because there was no such thing as texting. You literally had to sit with a pen and paper and write a letter.
Mm-hmm.
And then your letter wasn't as frivolous as your text messages because
Right.
you literally had to take the time to sit there and send a letter that actually meant something because
And
you're
you
taking
and
the
you
time to
couldn't
write it.
and you couldn't text and be on the phone at the same time.
Right. Well, you couldn't even text most of the time because in the beginning, to text a B, you had to hit the number two times just to get a B. It was like texting wasn't worth it because it was too difficult until they put the keyboards on the phone. Once they put the keyboards on the phone, then everybody started texting. But in the beginning, texting was like a menace because if you remember, the keyboard had like three. The only number that didn't have a letter on it was the number one. But every key from 2 to 9 had three letters on it. So if you was trying to type the word look, you had to type 655 uh whatever. You had to go through the numbers just to get the letters, and sometimes it was the same letter, like STU. So if you typed the word that S started the letter, and then it so if you type steak, you'd have to do ST. You could press the same number. Then you got to go to the number 2 to get to the E, and the number 3 to get to the E, and then type it the 3 twice. It was a mess.
Oh
Texting was a
no.
mess. Texting was a
And I'm
mess.
with you, Dirk. I'm old school, and I'm still old school. Pick up the phone and call me. I'm not a texter. I'm not a person that does a lot of texting. Pick up the damn phone and call me. Don't be sending me no damn text.
See, I don't mind texting. I just hate when I text somebody and they just instantly call me.
Yeah, but just you
There
talk.
are people.
You type fast.
No, but there are people that I don't mind that if they call me, but it's not everybody that I want to talk to like that. It's like, if we don't talk on the phone on a daily basis or at least frequently, why do I want to talk to you now just because you text me and I said, hey, you said hey, and I said hey, and now all of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden my phone ringing and it's you. Like, no, bitch, I don't want to talk to you. Continue texting. And I won't pick up the phone. I won't. I won't pick up the phone because I'm like, I don't want to talk to you. Text. Like, no. Now there are people that I want to talk to, but a lot of times I'm like, text. We don't talk on a daily basis like that. So what am I talking to you for? It was called Tech Nine Keyboard. Right. Wrote letters and sent pictures back and forth. And you go to a party and you looking good. And you had to buy one of them disposable cameras and be like, girl, take a picture of me. Is
Mm-hmm.
this pose good? And then take it to CVS or to the pharmacy, because pharmacies would develop pictures back then.
Yeah.
Take it to a pharmacy and get your pictures developed and wait like a week or a couple of days and go back. Then you be mad because your dumbass friend done had their damn finger in front of the damn thing the whole time.
Right.
So you pissed because now you got to redo a whole new photo shoot,
Remember?
or the best picture got
Yes.
their finger in front of it.
Yes. Remember, you had to buy film.
Oh, jerk, we ain't even gonna talk about the ones on Facebook that just call you at random and they just
Oh no, I don't even want to go there,
they
child.
just they just randomly call you ass and just I'm talking about people in my everyday life. I wasn't even talking about the ones on Facebook because I have people in my everyday life like I don't talk to you like that. So why? Because I responded to you means if you didn't want to text, you should have never sent me a text. You should have called me, and then I would have picked up the phone. You sent a text, meaning I want to text. So just because I respond back, don't mean I want to talk to you.
Well, if
It
I send you a
means
text, I'm gonna ask you, can I call you if I want to
right.
talk to you?
Like that's what you did that day when I sent you the message. And
I
you was
asked you,
like, Joseph, can
can
I
I
call
call
you
you?
on
Yeah.
Facebook? I said, sure. You said video call you. I said, sure. But I was sitting in front of the mirror, so I knew I was together.
Mm-hmm.
If not, it would have been a slight pause, and I would have had to go in the mirror and be like, okay, I look good. And he can call now. You know me.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Melissa? I'm like, don't call me like that. Like, if you send me a text and say, hey, and I say, hey, back as a response, the next thing you should be like, how you doing? Not calling me to say how you doing. Because if you wanted to talk, you should have called me to begin with. And then that gave me the option to either pick up or not pick up. But a lot of people like to catch your ass because when you text them back and you don't pick up, then they want to be in their feelings. But I don't give a fuck because that just means I don't want to talk to you. So you should, and I've had people do that. They text me, I say hey, they say hey, I say hey, they call me, I don't pick up. I just called you. I said I know you did, but I don't feel like talking to you. So what's up? Like I don't want to talk. If I don't want to talk, I don't want to talk. Like you know, it is what it is. I don't have time for all of that. I just really don't. Like,
Well, y'all know the next technology that's coming up is hologram calling, where you can call somebody and they can be sitting right in your living room as a hologram.
like the Jetsons used
Are we
to
ready
do.
for that?
Hologram calling? No, because then I got to be dressed, fully dressed.
Right.
Then I got to be looking cute all the damn time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do that unless it's like the Jetsons where I could just put on an outfit, honey. It just have a body of me and I could just put on anything and I'd be sitting there looking cute, honey. But if I gotta really get dressed, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to do that. FaceTime is enough right now for me. And then it kills me when people just FaceTime you out of the blue. You be chilling, laying in the bed, and then I'm like, are you seriously FaceTiming me right now, bitch? You done probably went in the mirror, got yourself together, put on your makeup and your wig, and got all cutesy. And now you want to FaceTime me, and I'm laying in the bed with crust in my eyes. Child, bye. Go kick rocks. I'm not picking that up either. I don't be picking that up either. Like, unless it's family. If it's my sister, my cousin, I don't mind.
Yeah.
But other people that do it, I just
Well,
be like,
more and more people are FaceTiming these days.
right. They just FaceTime me. Like, it's like, I don't know what people be thinking sometimes. Like, if I'm going to FaceTime somebody, I'll text them and be like, what you doing, bitch? Or what you doing? I'm about to FaceTime you. And they either say yes or no. But they don't give you the same courtesy. They just bloop.
Well, there's no etiquette. There's no etiquette to it, Joseph.
But I mean, you just coming across
You think it
somebody's
should be
screen.
common sense? It should be known.
I'm not saying that it should be known or common. It should be known that you don't just come across somebody's screen on the camera. Because actually, if I FaceTime you right now, your camera gonna open up.
Right.
They can't see you, but it's just the mere fact of who the fuck do you think you are to be FaceTime? Like if you my mama, then you can FaceTime me like that because you my mama. My sister can do it, my cousins can do it because of who you are to me. But if you just some random person or a friend, you cannot just FaceTime me and think that I'm gonna be okay with it.
Like I said, there's no etiquette to it. You know, there's no rules that says that this is the way you should do it, or you should never text a person without asking them, and so on. So there's no etiquette to it.
Well, some people they just rude. Because believe me, I'm sure they do it when it's done to them. They don't like it. Because
well, the good thing that's right, Melissa. We can choose who call we accept and call we don't accept. So
right.
what's the sense you getting your feelings about it?
Because it's annoying. Now I got to sit and listen to my phone ring until your dumb ass decide I ain't going to pick up and hang up. But no, not the people I know, honey. They'll sit there and just let the FaceTime just ring and ring and ring till they tell you I'm not available.
Yeah. Well, I'm not ready for FaceTime. And it ain't got nothing to do with the way I look. I don't care the way I look. That don't bother me. I'm just not ready for FaceTime.
FaceTime or
but
the
FaceTime
hologram.
is very personable. It is very personable because you're letting a person into your world.
Monte, when this video is over, I swear to God, I'm going to FaceTime you just because. Just because you said you never use FaceTime, I'm going to FaceTime you just because. Oh, child, I can't. because you don't know what the person is doing. You don't know where they at. You know, you don't know nothing.
You're gonna be thinking about stuff like that when you call somebody.
No, if you call me, I don't expect you to say what he doing, where he at. If you FaceTime me, I could be in the middle of church.
Yeah, but people don't think about that when they call you.
I'm so sick of people and what they're supposed to think. They need to all think with common fucking sense.
You think that there should be an etiquette to it, and there's not. So most people, when they call you like that, it's just a phone call to them.
Well, they need to think about it. I'm so sick of having to take other people's feelings into considerations when it comes to me. I'm like, no, if I don't like it, I don't like it. It is what it is. I'm supposed to just be okay with it because I'm supposed to sit back and say, well, maybe they don't know.
Well,
if you don't know, then
the average person don't be thinking, well, I'm not gonna call Joseph because maybe he don't want to be on camera right now, or maybe he don't, maybe he doing something right now, or maybe he in church. No, people don't think about that when they're calling you. They just think, oh well, let me call my friend Joe.
He was FaceTiming me. I was getting. I hate when I'm. And it's not just Tramel that does it. Other people do it too. Well, you have to take other people into consideration. I ain't taking nobody into consideration. If I wouldn't do it, goddamn it, you shouldn't do it.
I'm not saying taking other people into consideration. I'm saying you get mad.
Because if I wouldn't do it, then don't do it to me.
Right, but Joseph, people do. Everybody don't do things the same way.
People want me to take their feelings into consideration. They need to take my feelings into consideration that they just pissed me the fuck off, and I probably ain't gonna speak to them for 5 days now until I calm down.
All I'll be saying to you is everybody don't do things the way you do them, and so you should as a courtesy. You should just pay that stuff no mind. Why you get so mad and infuriated about it? Because somebody didn't think
because a person should know better. Period.
Well, people don't know better.
Well, clearly.
People don't know
I can't ever
call Joseph on FaceTime unless you call him and ask him, can you FaceTime him? Don't ever call him. Don't ever FaceTime Joseph unless you send him a text and ask him, can you FaceTime him? People don't think that when they're FaceTiming you. They say, oh, well, I'm going to FaceTime him right now.
I could be taking a shit and you want to come on FaceTime.
You could be.
Like,
you could be. But the one thing that you have to understand when it comes to all this different technology is you have a choice. You have a choice to not answer your phone
and get mad
if somebody FaceTime you. You have a choice not to answer your phone if somebody calls you on Facebook Messenger. You have a choice to not. You have a choice. You get mad just because somebody
you
did
damn right.
Is a waste of time.
You shouldn't have fucking did it.
It's a waste of time.
It was a waste of time for them to hit that fucking FaceTime thing too, because I'm not gonna pick up. Now, if you just want to call me, that's fine. I don't expect you to do that. But if you text me first and then I respond and then you call me because now you think you got me and you going to get me to pick up the phone.
My life is too short to be getting mad because somebody FaceTime me and I didn't want to be FaceTimed. My life is too short. I'm not going to sit there and get in my feelings and get mad and get an attitude at somebody because they FaceTime me. I'm not. It's too much
that's why
negative
you
energy.
Are Tramel and I'm Joseph.
Okay, well, you can be that
and
way.
Tony, you right.
It's
Common sense don't exist with some people.
It's okay for you to be that way, but I'm just that's just the way I am. I'm not getting in my feelings. If you FaceTime me, you FaceTime me. If I answered you, I answered you. If I didn't answer you, I didn't answer you, period. That's it. I'm not going to get mad and say, well, such and such called me on FaceTime today, and I'm never speaking to them again.
I ain't never said never. I said maybe 5 days. I'll make them wait 5 days.
5 days for what? What does that do?
Because you shouldn't have FaceTime me.
What does that do? What does 5 days do? You not talking to them for 5 days. What did that do? Nothing.
Just do, because I text then I really turn them, honey, and I text them and say, oh, I see you FaceTime me 5 days ago. I was busy. Then they really get in their face. You just texted me back now. Yes, I am. What, did you want something important? No, I just wanted to say hello. Oh, you should have texted me. Then I get the opportunity to say what's in my heart, because that's how it normally goes when I do what I do. Because I don't have time. You not going. I don't have to respond the way you want me to respond.
You don't.
And you just calling me on FaceTime is me responding the way you want me to respond. You know what, Hattie? Certain people, like if you've never done that to me before, if you've never FaceTime, like honest to God,
Their intentions may have
if
been
Monte
good.
or Melissa just FaceTime me out of the blue, I would pick up because I'm like, oh God, something happened. They need me.
Right.
But if it's somebody that I know that I done been texting all day long and what have you, and then they just text me, FaceTime me out of the blue, it's like, child, what you want?
Right, but their intentions may have been good. Their intentions may have been good. Their intentions may have been, let me call Joseph. I want to see his face. Their intentions may have been good, and then you on the other line, you pissed off. Say, well, I'm gonna give them a 5-day grace period before I talk to them again because they ain't had no business FaceTime me. Their intentions may have been just as pure and just as
Well, then if they
good
had
as
good
ever.
intentions, they should have said, bitch, you busy, I want to FaceTime you. And I would have said yes or no. And we could go from there.
You're just mean, Joseph.
I'm not
That's all.
mean. Why is that mean? I don't have
It
to
is
be.
mean, Joseph.
I don't have
It's
to be
mean.
available for
You
people
don't.
when they want me to be
You
available
don't.
for them.
But it is mean of you. When I say you mean, you saying, well, I'm gonna put this person on punishment because they FaceTime me is a little bit ridiculous, number one. Number two, and it's mean.
It is not mean.
It is.
Well, you answer all the FaceTime calls you get. I'm not.
No, I'm not. Listen, if I choose,
So I'm always
if I
mean.
don't,
I'm always mean because I live in my truth.
no,
I'm always mean
you're
when I
not
live in
listening
my
to what
truth.
I'm saying. What I'm saying to you is this: is I can have 100 people call me FaceTime. I make the decision whether I answer them or not. I'm not gonna sit here and get mad because people are FaceTiming.
Why do
me.
I have to listen to my phone ring 100 times?
You
And
listen
I
to your
know I'm
phone.
not going to pick it. I know I'm not going to pick it up.
How many times you sit and listen to your phone ring 100 times now, and it's not
I
FaceTime?
don't.
And it's not
And
FaceTime.
it'll be text messages,
Is
which
it
I can
annoying?
deal with.
Is it annoying?
No.
Is it annoying every time your phone rings? I've seen your phone ring back to back to back to back at times. Is that annoying?
Yes.
Okay. Well, do you get so in your feelings to the point where you want to put somebody on
I'll
punishment?
get in my feelings that I tell them, would you stop calling me?
And
Because
that's
9
mean.
times out of 10,
And
it's
I'm
the
telling you,
same
that's
person.
mean. That's mean.
Unless they say it's an emergency, then I'm like, okay, and I'll call them back. But if they don't say it's an emergency, if you just trying to call me to talk to me, child, I ain't got time for that.
That's mean. That's mean.
It is not mean.
It is. It's mean and it's petty.
It ain't mean. I don't have to be.
Okay, well, I won't
available.
even call it mean. You know what it is? It's petty as fuck.
I don't
It's
have
petty
to be
as fuck
available.
for you to get in your feelings about somebody FaceTiming you for the first time. Because, like I said, their intentions could be all good. Their intentions could be pure. I never
said they had bad intentions. I never said they had bad intentions.
Their intentions could be like, well, let me FaceTime him. I just want to see his face. Let me FaceTime him. I just want to see.
You don't know what.
I want to talk to him. I want to talk to him face to face.
If you don't know what I look like, you ain't gonna have my number to FaceTime. That's the first part.
Sometimes people want to see your face.
Okay, and you need to say, I want to FaceTime you.
But what if I don't? What if I don't? You gonna get mad at me and put me on punishment for 5 days? I'm not answering his call for 5 days. That's petty.
Okay.
That's petty as fuck.
Okay, well, I'm a petty bitch. Then I'm a petty bitch.
Yeah, you are.
You see, I don't do what you do. I don't sit there and entertain motherfuckers that I think is stupid and dumb. You do.
It's not being, and see, that's the wrong thing to say. It's not people being stupid and dumb because they don't do what you would not do. Just because a person does what you would not do does not make them stupid or dumb. That's what I'm saying.
Like
that's the problem I have with what you're saying is that you label people stupid and dumb when they don't think like you do, when they don't do as you do, you label them as being stupid and dumb, and that's not fair.
But it's like what Tony
It's not
said,
fair at all.
When she said common sense ain't common no more, I have to realize
Yeah, because it ain't your world, big girl.
But it ain't gonna change the way I feel.
It ain't your world. It still ain't your world.
But it ain't gonna change the way I feel.
Everybody does not walk, talk,
then don't deal
and
with me.
Speak and do things as you do.
Then don't deal with me. It's just that simple.
Yeah, well then you won't have nobody to deal with. Because people are just different. Different. That's the premise of our credo. Dare to be different. I dare to be different.
Well, I dare to be different too by not answering a bitch.
And that's okay. It's okay for you not to answer a person, but what's not okay is for you to call them stupid or dumb because they don't operate the way you operate. That's what I'm saying to you. That's what you're not
All right,
hearing.
Well, they don't have common sense.
That's what you're not listening to.
Well, they don't have common sense.
No, they don't have your common sense.
Well, it'll never be. It's who I am.
I'm not saying that you have to agree or with other people. You have to do things the way other people do them, but respectfully. Respect
my boundaries. You have to
have some type of consideration.
Well, when do they have consideration for me? When is the consideration for me? Well, that's the problem. That's the problem that I have with people in this world today. Everybody wants you to consider everybody else and just push yourself to the back burner. And I'm supposed to feel sorry for you because of this. And I should just let you do this. And I should just let you do that. And you're going through a situation and da 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 da. What about me?
What I'm saying to you is how the fuck do I know that I've done something to piss you the fuck off unless you bring it to my attention?
No, I'm not. 9 times out of 10, they ain't even did it yet. But I'm just saying.
You sit here and you fester in being mean, and you fester in being mad at situations. People do shit to you, and they don't even realize they've done it to you. And you'll sit here and you won't even bring it to their attention.
Why? For what? They should know what they did.
No, they should. How?
If I say this, you gonna say, "Here we go again," but I'm gonna say it.
If I come over there,
common
you
sense.
You gotta pair white sneakers in that closet, right?
Right.
And what are those your favorite sneakers? And I went in there and I stepped on your sneakers, and I didn't say anything. It would be you had 2 options. One option would be to just take them and put them in the wash machine and wash them, and the stain and the dirt will come off. Another option would be for you to say, Jamel, why did you step on my sneakers?
No,
you stepped on my sneakers, Jamel. Why didn't you put them in the washing machine?
See, I wouldn't even see. That's the difference. That's what I'm trying to make you understand. For me to come to you and say, why did you step on my sneakers? That means I'm accusing you. I would never come to a person and accuse them. I would come to you and say, did you step on my sneakers?
Well, only me and you live in this house.
Well, I mean, it's dirty, just me and you. But I'm just saying. I would never go to somebody and just accuse them of doing something. I would ask, did they do it? Even though I know that I didn't do it, so you did it.
Of course, I know you're not going to accuse nobody, but I'm just saying, for that particular situation, are you going to get riled up and get mad, ready to curse me out, put me on punishment? Or because I stepped on your sneaker?
No, because they could be cleaned.
Or are you gonna take them and put them in the wash machine? Or
if I'm wearing them right at that moment?
Or are you gonna say to me, Jamel, you stepped on my sneakers. You should put them in the wash machine and wash them.
No. If I was getting dressed to go out and I saw it like that, I would be furious. And that would be it. And you know me, I ain't gonna say nothing because I'll just be furious. And my whole night is messed up and I'm done. But I'd still go with the little mark on the sneakers. Now, if it was just I was wearing them to the damn Walmart or the store, then I would just wash them myself because I was like, well, why would I? It don't make sense for me to say, Tramel, wash my sneakers when you know you stepped on them in the first place. So if
Right.
you wanted to clean them, you would have did it before I even saw
Well,
it.
first of all, I ain't gonna step on your sneakers and just leave them there. You know
No, I
me.
know, but I'm
You
just
know me.
saying.
I'm gonna take them. I'm gonna pick them up. I'm gonna put them in the washing machine.
Hell, speaking of which,
That's
they
just
need to be washed.
that's
now.
just very me. You know, but you know there are cases where I use that example to say this is that 90% of the time, people in our lives they do and say things to piss us off, and they don't realize it. It's up to us to bring it to their attention instead of saying, "Oh well, I'm not going to speak to them because they FaceTime me." That is ridiculous.
Well, see, that's where I think
It's ridiculous.
That's where we have a problem. Not we have a problem, but you know what I mean. We think different. Cause see, you think they do it and they don't know what they're doing. I think they do it and they know exactly what the fuck they're doing.
But people do things and they don't. You can't think in that sense. You can't put everybody in that category. You can't put everybody in that category and think that everybody is like that because you're right. There's some people that do things with intention, and there's some people that do things unintentionally.
No, and I agree with that. I agree with that.
What about the person that does it unintentionally? The person that does it unintentionally, you say, okay, well, they did that. They didn't know. They didn't know. But you can't put everybody in that category, Joseph. You can't, and you do. And you base that on, Tramel, don't go there. Don't even go there. Don't do it. Don't do it. But that's you need to stop thinking in that sense. Some people do things just to be
assholes,
hilarious, or try to be funny. Some people do things just because they just are happy in a happy place, and they spread their happiness that way. That's their way of showing. That's their way of showing their happiness. Like, oh well, let me call Joseph. Let me FaceTime him and see how you doing. And you're right. You could be shitting. You could be in the middle of something important, but you also have the choice to not answer the phone. And you also have the choice to say to a person, listen, I don't like people FaceTiming me without letting me know. Could you please let me know the next time you're gonna FaceTime me? Could you please send me a text or let me know? What's wrong with you saying that to a person? Because I know me. I will say it to a person. I will say, listen, your child, I don't do FaceTime and stuff like that, random FaceTime or whatever. Could you please let me know when you're going to FaceTime me? Send me a text. And that's all I need to say. And I ain't got to worry about nobody FaceTiming me when I don't want to be FaceTimed like that.
I guess. I mean, it's whatever works for you.
It is whatever works for you, but Joseph, we are in the midst of um, uh, um, trying to be more understanding of one another, trying to create great friendships where, like Melissa said, there are boundaries and your friends know their boundaries. They know their boundaries. They know, listen, they know, don't call Melissa at the, like I used to have friends, certain friends that I would never call at 9 o'clock because I knew they was going to work the next morning. And they had a rule, don't call me after 9. If you call me after 9, I'm not answering my phone. Like, we're in the midst of, okay, I'm not gonna call Melissa after 9 o'clock because Melissa go to work and she got to get up and go to work in the morning. I'm not gonna call her after 9 o'clock. Or Melissa don't like seafood, so we ain't gonna go to this seafood restaurant. We're gonna go to. I'm gonna find another restaurant for us to go to. Or Melissa is really not fond of this person, so I'm not going to bring this person with me when I'm hanging out with Melissa. That's where we should be in the midst of. We should be in the midst of creating great friendships and creating boundaries and people being understanding of our boundaries and being understanding of the people that we are, so we don't have to get in our feelings and get mad and put people on punishment. That's what we should be in the midst of.
Mm.
Is being open and honest with our friends. I'm very open and honest. If I consider you my friend and you do or say something that I don't like, I bring it to your attention immediately. Immediately, I'm going to bring it to your attention so that I don't have to call you stupid or dumb or are you serious? I don't have to do all of that.
I again, it's what work for you.
Yeah, it
I'm never
is.
going to change when it comes to certain things because I just feel, again, and common sense ain't common, but it's just certain things I'm not going to sit and explain to a person. It should be common sense.
Yeah, there are
And
some things that we should
if
that
it
we
ain't common sense, then I
listen.
mean, it is what it
There are
is.
certain things that if we're friends, you should know better, and it is common sense. But then there's some things that people don't that you may look at as common sense that other people may not look at as being common sense. They may look at it as being, okay. Now that you brought it to my attention, now I see what you're saying, Joseph.
No, I get it, but I'm not. That's
Like,
why.
remember, there was a time, y'all, there was a time where, you know, before, now, no, okay, it was a time before in our marriage that I was spending money, y'all. I would just go out and I would just buy anything I wanted. I would do anything I wanted with my money, and then when I ran out of my money, I would want to spend Joseph money, right? So Joseph brought it to my attention. He's like, Tramel, you always talk about us saving money, and you bought this, or you're buying that, or you're doing this, or you're doing that. And he was like, I said to him, I said, Joseph, am I really spending too much money? And he was like, yeah, you spend all your money. And I'm like, I do? And he's like, yeah, you always spend all your money, and then here you come asking me for money. I said, well, I wish you would have told me that. I said, Joseph, if you have a problem with the amount of money that I'm spending, then just say something to me. Say, Tramel, you're spending too much money. Or say, Tramel, we can't afford to spend this money. Or we can't afford it. We can't afford this. We can't afford this. He would never say things like that. He would never ever say things like that. And I would end up every single month broke. And then 9 times out of 10, that would leave the household broke because I wasn't contributing my money to the household. So then there came a time when I said to Joseph was like, Shabelle, you always spend all your money, and we always end up not having any money. At the end of the month, we need anything, and so on and so forth. So then I said to him, I said, Joseph, I said, from now on, since you are the better money manager, since you think you're the better money manager, I'm going to turn every single dime of my money over to you, and you can handle it. And he was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Because he was taking it as me being
Facetious.
facetious or me, you know, being smart or something like that. But I was being very seriously. I was like, Joseph, if you can manage our money better than me, then by all means, I would rather give you all my money and then just give me an allowance. And y'all, I kid you not, up until this day, I give Joseph every month when I get my check, I get Joseph my I just send it to his bank account. I just direct deposit in his bank account. And as far as money wise, we we very very rarely have money issues. We don't argue about money anymore.
He didn't understand it because he
We
thought
don't
he had
argue
to
about
get a
money anymore.
job, and he thought he had to get a job. When y'all remember when he was working at McDonald's, he thought he had to get in my head. I'm going, no. If you
Well,
start
first I had to
spending up all
make
the
him.
goddamn
I had to
money,
make him. I had to make him take my money. He's like, Shamel, you're not.
oh yeah, I didn't want to do it.
If you send me all your money, I'm going to send it back. I'm like, no, you're not going to send it back. You're going to keep it.
because it was his wording. His wording was what was throwing me off. It sounded facetious, and then you come at me, I'm gonna give you an allowance. I'm like, you grown, like you a grown ass man. And for me, somebody talking to me like that or telling me to do something like that, I know how I would feel. So I just
Well,
it was a lot for me. But I said, you know what? The only way I'm gonna be able to prove what I know I can prove is to do this. And when I did it the first time, he was shocked. He was like, "We still got money?" I said, "Yeah." I said, I've been trying to tell you this for months and years, but you didn't want to." He was like, "No," and I've been trying to give you my money for years, and you didn't want to. I said, "But I did it this time because I said I wanted to make sure I was right.
right,
I wanted to
but
make sure I knew what I was talking about."
the point was I had to own what was true. And what was true was is that yes, child, you give me $10, I'm spending $10. I'm spending every dime that I got.
Oh, Trisha, yeah, you're right. Some people are good with money, and there's others
I'm a
that ain't.
spender. I am a spender. If you give me $20, I'm gonna find a way to spend that whole $20. But
And some.
now I recognize and I realize the value of a dollar. I do. I recognize the value of a dollar, and I don't spend like that anymore.
Because he didn't realize, like, I was giving him money weekly. So the first time I gave him like a large sum. I said, let's see what he do with this. Oh, honey, he went out and he just went on a shopping
He gave me
spree.
$100. I
I gave him
came home. No,
$200.
you gave me $100. He gave me $100. I came back home and I was broke.
Yeah, a nickel.
Then he gave me another $100, and I
The
was
next
broke.
week I gave him $100.
And I was broke.
And then I said, okay, he gonna learn that I'm not. If he go on Monday and spend everything on Monday, he gonna have to wait till next Monday to get another.
Yeah, and I
Cause I'm
learned.
like, that's the only way I could show Tramel what he's doing. Cause he really didn't see
And I
what
learned. And
right. He
I
really
learned.
didn't see what he was doing. So showing him by doing that, I said, this should show him what I'm talking about. And showing him by doing that, now, child, I could give Tramel $20.
Yes, Trisha, I was spending money on stuff that I ain't need. Like now when I go out to the store, when Joseph give me my allowance, I really think about what I'm going to purchase it on, and versus having money in my pocket. And to me, it's more important for me to have money in my pocket than to spend my money on that whatever that I don't need.
Right. Because it's
It's
just
it's choices. It's choices. I made a choice. Now I make a choice of keeping money in my pocket versus buying stuff. Like I'll go to the dollar store and I'll see 10,000 things I want. But then now I say to myself, Shamel, do you really need that? Shamel, do you really need that? And if the answer is no, I'm not going to purchase it. That's it.
but y'all, this has been a fun lit live. We went down Reminiscence Street, then we got a little gangster with it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what it is. That's how me and Tramel talk when we passionate. We ain't angry at each other. We would never. Well, I know I
Oh
was never
no,
angry at him.
we ain't angry.
And it just when we both of us are fire signs, so when we get passionate, the heat start turning up, and it is what it is. But
Yeah.
other than that, I don't want y'all to think we sit here mad at each other.
Oh no, we not.
We not, because at the end of the day, me and Tramel came to a conclusion a long time ago. Tramel is the way he is because he's Tramel, and I'm the way I am because I'm Joseph. Do I agree with all the things Tramel say? Hell no. Do he agree with all the things I say? Hell no. But that don't stop us from being who we are and loving each other just the same. That just our differences is what brings us together. Because sometimes I am too mean and I am too harsh, and Tramel will step in and put in that little soft touch. Or sometimes I think he being a sucker, and I come in with, "Oh, bitch, you're not gonna play my husband," and that's what balances us out. Our differences are what balances us out, and we realize that. in the beginning, we tried to change each other. Both of us did. I tried to make him more hard. He tried to make me more soft.
Mhm.
And we realized that wasn't going to work because
Right.
all it did was upset us and make us angry because it's like, why are you trying to change me? Well, you shouldn't have married me if you didn't like who I was as a
Well, I try to
person.
I don't try to change you,
No,
Joseph.
not in the
I try
beginning.
to get
No,
you
in
to
the
look at
beginning when we first got married, both of us was trying to change each other.
right, but I try to get
Now
now.
it's a whole
I
different
try to get
story.
you to look at things from both sides.
Right.
It's okay for you to feel whatever way you want to feel. It's okay for you to have the views that you want. I just try to get you to look at it from a different perspective and look at it from the other side, and that's really it. And even if you don't see it from the other side, it doesn't make me angry in any way whatsoever. I respect your opinion just like you respect mine.
All right. Like what you were saying tonight, I get it because that's who you are as a person.
Yeah.
That's how you view things, and how I view things is totally different. Now it is what it is. It just is what it is, y'all. But I still love my husband. He ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere, and it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But we
Yeah.
ain't mad. I don't want y'all to get off the line thinking that we mad and angry because I got a little fiery and he got a little fire. That's just who we are. We fire
Yeah,
signs.
we fire, yeah, child.
If you light a fire,
Full of
honey,
fire,
and
child.
just blow some air on it, honey, the fire take off
I'm a dragon.
and just blaze up. Cause all you need is a little bit of air and the fire will blaze right on up. So it is what it is, y'all.
Yeah.
Please follow us on all social media outlets. Y'all know what they are.
Mm-hmm.
And make sure if you haven't already, hit that thumbs up button and hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to our channel. Also, if you would like to donate to the McRae Kingz channel, feel free, please, and donate to us. Our Cash
Yes,
App
child. We need a
is
we need a New Year blessing.
type the Cash App into the
We
chat.
need a New Year's Eve blessing, child.
We do need
So
a New Year's
whatever
Eve
money that y'all
blessing.
gonna send us, we need a blessing.
That is true,
Yeah, we
but
do. We need a
it's
blessing.
what it is.
Our StreamYard needs to be paid. Our internet. We need a New Year's blessing. So if y'all gonna send us a blessing now. Send us a blessing tonight.
You know what I'm gonna say? Cause this the only one I ever drank is Moet. Cause that's the only one I've ever drank. And I know I hang out with a bunch of ghetto hood people, and I'm you know just as bouge ghetto as I call myself as them. But you know what's a good champagne? Wait, Tramel's
Um,
typing something.
what's her name? Oh gosh, I can't remember her name right now. Something.
That's all wrong, Tramel.
I know.
Let me take it out and do it myself. Just answer Leon's question. What's the good
What's her name? The girl commercials come on all the time. I can't remember what her name is right now. Well, commercials come on all the time, and she has good champagne. Um, Hell, any champagne is good champagne. Moet is good. Shoot, back in my day, we used to drink pink champagne. That was good.
child? I remember as a kid, child, you always wanted your mother or father to give you some
Kim
pink
Crawford.
champagne.
Kim Crawford. Champagne is good.
Yeah, but
Yeah, sure. We do. I'm not playing. We do need a financial blessing from you guys. So, if you want to start sending us a financial blessing tonight, um, you know, and we would greatly appreciate it. We sure would. We sure would greatly appreciate it. We need a financial blessing tonight.
and all
I'm being totally honest with you guys. We appreciate all of your donations. And
check out the McRae King's boutique.
Yes, make sure you
The
check
link
out the
is in
McRae Kingz
description
boutique.
box.
It's going to be in the description box.
And Monday you will get your first episode of Coffee with the Kingz.
Yes. We may even give you a sneak peek tomorrow, but you will get your
Good night,
first
Hattie.
episode of the McRae Kingz. McRae Kingz, Coffee with the Kingz will begin again as of tomorrow,
Monday.
As of Monday, yes.
Monday will be your first coffee.
And it
with the
will be a
Kingz.
pre-recorded show, guys.
Yes.
We have to do the pre-recorded show because.
But I'm always going to set them as a premiere so I could talk with you guys in the chat and Tramel could talk with you guys in the chat. But we have to do because us both going to dialysis now.
Yeah.
It's hard for us to do a live show that early.
Right.
Because we plan on coming on no later than
11 a.m.
11 a.m.
Yeah.
So Coffee with the Kingz is going to be early. It's going to be pre-recorded. I'll set it as a premiere so that we can come in the chat and talk with you guys. So it won't be like you're there by yourself, just watching a video. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. It'll be totally different from Pillow Talk. Pillow Talk will still take place every night live like it does now.
Most definitely, yeah.
Just because we're doing Coffee with the Kingz, Pillow Talk will still stay every single night live, same time and everything. But we felt we can't now because Tramel is on dialysis. And two, us going live twice a day will wear us completely out. So we figured, we love the conversation in Pillow Talk. We love you guys coming to Pillow Talk and things of that nature. So later, Trisha, we love it. So with that being said, guys, if nobody told you they loved you yesterday or today, know that Tramel and I do, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Please always remember to walk in love, peace, sunshine, and happiness. All those great and wonderful things. And I say it every day, but you should already know.
It's Team McRae.
All damn day. Good night, everybody. See you tomorrow.
Talk to you soon.